guys, we're back in High Tunnel 1. We're doing some harvesting of greens and stuff today for some orders. And I just realized that I forgot to do something the other day. A couple days ago last week, we had a couple really cold spells in the single digits down to 0 almost, and maybe some negatives due to wind chill. And when we're in the high tunnels, the crops in here clearly, they're supposed to be able to withstand those cold temperatures, which, fortunately they did, and things came out just fine. But one preventative measure we have in the high tunnels to keep them a little more insulated during those colder temperatures is closing our ridge vents. And if you look up here, you'll see kind of where my stick's pointing up there. That is a ridge vent, or excuse me, not a ridge vent, a end wall vent that we have on our high tunnels. Both high tunnels have one on each side. I believe they're about 3 feet or 4 feet long, and I think they're about 2.5 feet tall. These are very, very, very necessary to have all year long in your high tunnels, especially in the summer, to let out that excess heat. If you're capable of putting a ridge vent, which will actually sit on the roof of your tunnel, our greenhouse has that, that will let out even more. But so what I did before those really cold temperatures set in is we closed these ridge vents to try to trap some of that heat and more humidity in the structure through those colder days, so that more heat would stay in the tunnel to keep it warmer overall. We like to keep these open actually pretty much all year long. If the temperature is like today, it's about 35 degrees out. We like to keep them open to help keep the tunnel ventilating just a little bit. Even though the fans aren't moving, even though the doors aren't moving, having a space up top to let that natural airflow come in, whether it's seeking through the cracks or the edges of the door, just enough airflow to, get that force moving upward. In and then up to keep that air circulating, so we're not really keeping that hot, humid environment, especially on the sunny days in here. So, I forgot to do it yesterday, but we are opening the end wall vents back up so these tunnels can breathe a little bit. So there's little signs on the how-tos of the high tunnel and kind of keeping them aerated properly and what to do during the colder temperatures. And we did have the remay on. This is still on here from the other day to keep these crops warm. But now that it's going to be, close to 40 actually the next couple of days, we are going to open these vents up and probably pull this row cover off. That way these plants can breathe a little bit and get a little more sunlight and a little more air movement. So we have a very simple system for our end wall vents. It's set up on a string. We have a little tie off here, goes up to an eye hook there, and then it goes up to another eye hook on top, and then an eye hook attached to the vent itself, so we can control how much venting we want to do. So I took my little fancy stick there and pushed the ridge vent out, and if you can see right now, this is about, I'd say actually probably halfway open, maybe a little less. And I honestly haven't changed this since the summer. In the summer months, we could open these up a little bit more to let the air out a little bit faster. But in essence, it's not really that much of a difference if that's opened, parallel like this, for instance, versus on an angle like this. So what that is doing is letting enough air out. The air is probably coming through the cracks in here, cracks maybe on the side. These aren't bulletproof structures, so there is a little air movement. And then whatever excess heat is kind of being pushed up through the top of these tunnels now. And that is helping keeping, the tunnel with air movement consistently. Even though the fans aren't moving, even though there's not airflow really coming into them, it's just enough to keep airflow through the tunnels to keep them so they're not just like this really, really humid environment. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you got a little education on how high tunnels work. If you like this video, please hit the like button below. Subscribe to our channel if you want to hear more things that are going on at Bardwell Farm, and let us know if there's anything you're interested in hearing about. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it. Check out our website. We have a lot of cool stuff on there as well, and we look forward to having more videos for you guys. Happy farming.